Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we have a new series going on today. Ooh, Tunic. There it is. Yeah, it will be published by the time this video is uploaded. An hour late, mind you, because I was finishing off a thumbnail out today. You might be glad to know that I'm generally feeling pretty good now. Like I don't feel like particularly woozy or anything. Well, I'm not sure woozy is really the right word or anything, but you know, I don't know how to describe it, except for yesterday I was just like, I just feel a little bit off, you know, a little bit off, a little bit skew with, a little bit off kilter, a little bit strange. But anyway, hello there everyone. We're in Fawnhallow at 6 p.m. on Monday, May 8th, 2023. It was bank holiday today to celebrate like the coronation of a king, which, you know, didn't happen today, but that's just how the UK does bank holidays. But yeah, so I mean, generally I feel reasonably fine, I would say, today. But that did mean I was just basically, I'm still a little bit tired, so I woke up like really late. I woke up at like 11 p.m. today, and I was like, oh, I was like, okay, I need to like rush to finish this thumbnail art. And I'll be honest, I don't think thumbnail art's like that amazing or anything. This one personally, compared to a lot of the previous ones, you know, sometimes you have some good ones, sometimes you have some bad ones. I wouldn't say this one's bad necessarily, just like it's not exactly the one I'm most like satisfied with, I suppose, in the end. But that's fine. The game itself is fun, and plus when the thumbnail arts are really small anyway, you can hardly see them, so I guess it doesn't really matter in the end too much. Well, not too much. I keep making it sound like it's bad. It's not bad. It's just like it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it, which is fine. And the more I talk about it, the more it's going to seem like it's something which is actually a big deal, which it isn't. But you know, it's because I can't think of something to talk about, so I'm sort of just like fishing around here aimlessly, just being like, what am I going to talk about today? What's even happened recently? I can't really think of much. What's happened recently? I had another lunch just of bread with some Nutella on it. Nutella. You ever think about like these words which you never know how to pronounce properly until someone tells you, oh, it's actually pronounced like this way or that way? Actually happened recently with a word called Eidolon, and you might be like, hey, is that from Honkai Star Rail? And yes, it is. It's basically a mechanic in the game of Eidolon, so it doesn't really matter. Because for one, I've never seen this word before. I have no idea where it's from. I don't even know really what it means. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, let's use like English words, not English words, but let's use my own intuition for what I think, how this word is pronounced. And it's, I was like, Eidolon, maybe. It's spelled Eidolon, and I was like, Eidolon sounds reasonable. Can I think of like, what word out there has like an EI starting sound? Not that you can use other words to really like reference other words in the English language, because they're probably from like different origins or something. Like, I can't think of any word which starts with EI apart from 8, which would make it like Eidolon. Eidolon. But apparently it's Eidolon. After I looked it up at something, because it's actually, it's probably to do with like idolation or something, right? Eidolon, right? An idealized person or a thing, a spectre or a phantom. What? It's like two very different things, unless, you know, you idolize phantoms, I suppose. But I think I talked about these sort of stories before, like words which, you know, you read, and then you read like somewhere in like a book or whatever, and then when you hear how it's said, it's like, whoa, that's like completely different to how you think it's pronounced. Eidolon is just so weird, because Eidolon I don't know how to describe this, except for when I hear the word Eidolon, it doesn't make me think of the same word as when I think Eidolon, despite that Eidolon isn't a word. You get me? Like, but hearing Eidolon, it doesn't have the connection for me yet in my brain between that and the spelling of Eidolon, I suppose. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Which is weird to say, but I guess it's because I learned how to pronounce it and learned how to read or / spell it, I suppose, with two different sources, which I mean means that they kind of are unconnected at the moment, and it's also not a very common word, which makes it a bit difficult to bridge that gap. But that certainly happened to me. I must have spoken about a story before, but well, I mean, there's not really much of a story about it. But Oppitomy, which I think it's a very common one for people to like not realize how it's spelt / pronounced. It's spelled Epitome, if you're curious. And when I was younger and I always read it in like books and stuff, I thought it was epitome. So it's like, oh, this is the epitome of like greatness or something. And then I thought epitome was a different word spelled differently, like APPIT. Why someone doesn't mean I need an M in there. I don't know, just something like that, something completely different. And it just wasn't a word which was like written down all that often or something, and I just like never actually ended up reading it in a book. And it wasn't until GCSE year in one of the English classes where the teacher was like, do you know about like epitome or something? not to me personally, like to the class or something. She was describing as something being the epitome or something. Oh, you know, I used to think it was spelled like OPPO TOMY or something like that, like almost like opposite, but epitome. And then she just like wrote it on the board because, you know, I was sitting there smugly being like, oh yeah, I never word epitome. And then she wrote like epitome on the board, and I was like, what? Those are the same word? I've just thought it was two different words with exactly the same meaning, or for whatever reason, which, you know, synonyms are a thing in English. Of course, a lot of times the synonyms tend to have different connotations or different levels of grandeur to them. I wonder what I thought the difference between epitome and epitome was. I'm not really sure. Epitome to me sounds like grander, greater, like this is the definitive, only one can exist, best thing. And epitome just sort of means like it's a very characteristically, it sort of like encompasses it wholly as a definition. Not the definition of a word, but like definition of the concept it's describing, you know? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense what I'm saying, because obviously it's inherently not going to make sense because I'm talking about a word which doesn't exist. It's probably happened to a lot of other words as well. Not that I can think of them off the top of my head, but epitome is always one which sticks in my mind. And you might be like, did you ever say like epitome out loud to people or anything? Not really. I mean, it's not really a word I use that often. I suppose when I spoke, I always used epitome. So it's like my brain subconsciously made the connection that it's like epitome does not have a spelling and epitome does not have a pronunciation that you've heard. Maybe these actually are the same sort of word, but I just used them in those different contexts or whatever. It's like I had two different dictionaries, one for speaking, one for reading and writing or whatever, and I never realised that it was actually a one-to-one mapping between them rather than a many to many. Like it's not really many to many. It's more like two of them were just unmapped to each other. I'm just trying to think how this would work, like mathematically function-wise. Are there any words out there which don't have spellings? That sounds so stupid to say, but like, are there any said expressions or words or things which do not have a way to spell them? I guess like onomatopoeias, like sounds, like something like, ugh. Like you could probably be like, oh, that's probably like URGH or whatever, but there's probably some onomatopoeia sound out there which doesn't have a spelling, right? I don't know if you can really have it the other way around. Is there like a spelling out there which doesn't have like a pronunciation? Maybe. I mean, you could probably do that in like Chinese and Japanese now I think about it. Because in Chinese and Japanese, the words don't follow an alphabet per se. Well, I mean, Japanese does have an alphabet, but a lot of the words are sort of like pictograms, I suppose. Like little pictures of things. And I suppose you can make up a Chinese word by like combining common symbols, I suppose, together, which have never been combined before or something. I mean, you just give it to someone and be like, this is a word, but it has no inherent meaning behind it because it cannot be said. I guess that doesn't really work in languages like English, etc., etc. Which I don't know if that's necessarily a good or bad thing, per se. It's just an interesting thing to think about. Also, I don't know if we've ever been to a super rainy island before. It's like Thunderstorm Island or something. I don't know if it's got anything particularly interesting about it, apart from it's a thunderstorm. I'll say my throat gets increasingly dry, I suppose, still, so I'm still kind of recovering. I don't want to get dehydrated, so you'll have to hear me in these videos, I suppose, drinking a lot of water very frequently. Because I annoyingly haven't also been able to record videos for like the past 5 days, apart from the Animal Crossing ones. Because genuinely, I just like didn't feel up for it. But even now, I'm just like, my tongue is like, ah. It's like drying itself out. But I will record some episodes today because I need to record a Cosmic Express for tomorrow. And Thursday and Friday would be nice to be able to record some Spiritfarer and Cosmic Express, and it'd be nice to record some Animal Crossing in advance. I guess I don't necessarily have to, but it would be nice. But that would be lower priority. You know, no, let's get this next week sorted out. Let's try and build a backlog up again. Cosmic Express might be over soon, which is kind of weird to think about, and I need to get started on the next Fawnhallow art again. But hopefully I just won't be ill on the weekend again, which would be even sort of number one time to finish it off. Actually, now I think about it, has the Fawnhallow art has actually been published now. Let's see. Because it should be, right? Yeah, there we go. 2 views. Someone's watching it. I didn't actually check to see if it uploaded properly, so I probably should have done that. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Words common... No, hold on. English words with no spelling. I don't know how you would even be able to Google that. How I remember... No, not commonly spelled. With no pronunciation? Nah, it's just giving me words with silent letters in. The only letter of the English language which is never silent. This seems like clickbait. Can you guess what it is? Okay, before I read, hold on. It probably can't be a vowel, I would guess. I guess it's like... I was gonna say K, but then I was like, no. Get it? But in my mind, it's like it's got to be a sharp letter, like X or something. Which sounds weird to say, but I don't really know. V. Oh. Huh. It may use night as an example, or whatever. Silent. Z and J are silent words. Laissez-faire. Okay, well, I mean, if you have to say they're silent in words from other languages, I feel like that's all kind of like against the point. But you know, okay. I mean, that's an interesting fact. Readers Digest that V is silent in. It is never silent. It's not what I wanted, but I guess I can't really search are there any words with no spelling or are there words with no pronunciation because they just don't exist. For one, but it's weird to think about. I want English words often mispronounced. There we go. Mischievous. No, that's not no. Man, I don't want like Worcestershire. I want like completely different, like epitome and epitome. This way you go like Reddit epitome pronunciation, something like that. And then you know you got to go like ask Reddit or something because someone's probably started a thread about this sort of thing. What's a word you thought was pronounced completely differently? Here you go. Here we go. Here it's 21 upvotes. Never mind. Ask Reddit. Word pronounced differently. I don't know how to search this concept. You know, my Google view is not high enough to be able to find out. Oh my god, what is going on? To find like an article where I can actually get some talking points out of this. You know, my native language doesn't have a word for it. It's not what I wanted. I mean, the world of linguistics is very interesting, and I did always think, you know, the way languages are constructed and that sort of thing, and the gaps in the language especially. But what words other people pronounce? No, let's see. 3 upvotes, 33, 37. There's not many. It's a shame that Google doesn't have a built-in Reddit API to see how many upvotes this has. Segway. Segway's another good one, actually. Segue. I'm not sure, actually. I feel like I must have also had that as the similar situation with Oppitomy. Because I do remember reading the word Segway and in my head going, Segue. I don't know what age, because I think because Segway is not really that common a word to hear or like read, I suppose. I don't know. To me, it feels like a very casual word, but maybe that's because I have an association of the actual Segway like scooter brand or something. But I generally can't remember at the point I learned about Segway was not Segue, I suppose. It's probably when I was quite younger, which is maybe why I don't remember it necessarily as well. Quinoa? Quinoa's not a bad one. Archipelago? I mean, a lot of these are just like proper nouns. I don't even know how to say that one. Encephalopy? Rendezvous? Quinoa? Bologna's actually a good one as well. Bologna. or whatever like that. I have no idea why it's pronounced baloney like that. Although to be fair, isn't it like in American English, it's actually like spelled B-A-L-O-N-E-Y, right? Rather than the B-O using the Italian spelling of Bologna. Or maybe it's not, I don't really know. Maybe that is just a load of baloney, I just made it up. It's a variant of baloney. Oh, okay. Polony. What is called polony? What on earth's going on? Bologna. I don't know why it's called that. Or spelled that way, sorry. I don't know why it's called that. I mean, I also don't know why it's called that. I don't know the etymology behind it. Anyway, I don't even know when the last time I had bologna is now. I think about it. It's probably been like years. It's not, I don't think it's even that common. Like a sandwich topping or something. But yeah, again, I'm also not really someone who goes to like the meat counters in supermarkets to get some, well, meat. I mean, like, what else do you get from meat counter, I guess? So weeds. We don't have enough weeds. We can talk to neighbours and we can water plants. Those are doable. Sorry, barista, no coffee for us today. Yeah, I don't really know when last time I even had bologna is. Or even seen bologna, to be honest. It's not, yeah, like, well, when you buy like sandwiches in stores and that sort of thing, unless I suppose you're going to an artisan sandwich shop, I don't really think I've ever seen bologna as an option. As like a sandwich filling. Would I have it? I mean, it's fine. Like, do I think, I still prefer like chicken fillings, I suppose, to sandwiches rather than bologna and those sort of meats. And perhaps more recently I should be more put off by it because I think I get, the whole reason I got food poisoning in the first place was because of sausage meat, but, which, to be fair, was kind of my fault, but still. Chamomile tea, yeah, chamomile. Chamomile, Ferno, Paradigm, Hyperbole. Ah, Hyperbole is another one as well. I don't know why it's always like these, like, I'm not sure lich terms is a really right word, but like linguistical terms or whatever. You're not really interested in sports. That's right. Okay. It feels very weird when we just ask about a hobby but then say nothing else about it. It's not like I hate sport or anything. I'm just like, I don't really do a lot of sport. I really should like keep more active and that sort of thing, but I'm just, you know, lazy, I suppose. Hyperbole I also thought was hyperbowl. I feel like it's also compounded by the fact, isn't there some like online webcomic? Something which is called like Hyperbowl? Or sorry, not Hyperbowl. But it's called Hyperbole, but it's spelled like Hyperbowl. Am I making this up? Am I making this up? Where's my stream deck? I pushed you away over here. I was gonna like cough or something, but so much of that. Hold on. Online webcomic Hyperbowl. I swear this is a thing. Hyperbole and a half. Here we go. I don't even remember. Oh, you're Hyperbole and a half. I mean, I felt like it was actually spelled Hyperbowl for whatever reason, but I forgot about you. You doing alright? People, where do they live? I don't know. This is the person who made that a lot comic ages ago. The A Lot Monster. Hyperbole is a good one. I don't remember when I didn't learn it a different way. Not when I didn't learn it a different way, but like when I found out the truth behind it not being Hyperbowl. It might actually been from that webcomic. Seeing it by Hyperbole. Maybe it was also from English class again. I don't really know. Would it be the same English teacher? I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not here to say because I don't remember. It's a bit hard to say say anything on things which you don't remember, I'm going to be honest, but you know, I suppose you can still try. What am I doubling up here? It seems like we already doubled everything up. Lily of the Valley wise, so I guess we'll sort of start doubling up from the other side now. We're gonna have like the most ridiculous amount of Lily of the Valley plants, like, well, just like ever. What on earth? Why'd you get planted over there? Why was that the next available spot? Hyperbole, yeah. I don't know. I mean, hyperbole almost feels like it fits because I mean, like hyperbole is always to do like over the top, like really go like go for it, I suppose, in terms of like emphasis or whatever. And a hyperbole sounds like it's like a hyperbole of a bowl, you know? What even is a hyperbole? I don't know, it's like got an added dimension to it or something. And because of that is like a hyperbole of a bowl. No? I don't know. It almost feels like a self-descriptive word, but in like a nonsensical sense. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode up here. So if you haven't watched, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, ta farewell. So until next time. Bye bye for now.